Hi, it's Lisa here. I just have to record this for you, but it's an amazing story because I had to get it to you straight away. Now, a while ago, there was this woman who kept calling Epstein boss man in the emails, and I was started to get really interested in her because he was saying he'd pay for her children to go to school. She worked on the island. She described one of her colleagues as evil. Okay, that got my attention. Now, yesterday, this is what came out in the St. Thomas source, US Virgin Islands. And it says, former Epstein employee accused of kidnapping at Little St. James. Now, my opinion of this woman, and it's just my opinion, this is not about her guilt or otherwise, is that she was very loyal to Epstein, even though she was extremely chaotic. But I think that loyalty, because she worked for him for more than 10 years. So, shall we start on Anne Rodriguez? Now, she wasn't the boss on the island, but she was a manager. Okay, so the story starts there was a lost drone. These two brothers were out on jet skis and their drone ended up on the island. And they got into some kind of verbal altercation, allegedly, with Anne Rodriguez, who still works on the island, even though it's sold in 2023. So police found two men stripped and bound in separate incidents on Little St. James Island in recent weeks, both allegedly at or near the former island home of notorious sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, without permission. Well, you need to say that when it's Epstein, according to court records posted on Monday. Longtime Epstein property manager Anne Rodriguez was charged with kidnapping. This is so wild. Can you see why I had to get it out to you? Assault and destruction of property for allegedly aggressively boating after two men on jet skis, forcing one man to strip, you ready, and be hog-tied at gunpoint. So it happened, this first incident, alleged incident, on March 1. And the man's brother fled on the other jet ski to alert authorities. The brothers were attempting to film a documentary about the island when Rodriguez and other men, not named in police reports, allegedly sped up. Rodriguez allegedly leveled a handgun at one man while shouting, "I will kill you," according to court records. She allegedly ordered the man to swim to her boat, where he was made to kneel with his hands over his head. The other brother filmed part of the encounter and then, fearing he was next, sped away to summon the police. Rodriguez had allegedly rifled through the victim's bag and thrown away memory cards containing drone footage of the island into the sea. The handgun turned out to be a BB gun designed to look like a Glock 19 with no orange safety markings. Police found two more similar weapons on the island. So Rodriguez identified herself as the property manager on Little St. James Island. Now, it's owned by billionaire investor Stephen Dekoff. So when I saw this, I was obsessed. In the same courtroom on Monday, a Tennessee man pleaded not guilty to trespassing on the island on this previous Saturday. Benjamin Jackson Owen and others were allegedly on the island without permission, and they were spotted by a maintenance worker who alerted Rodriguez's adult daughter. Now, my understanding is they did live on the island. I'm not sure if they still do. But Rodriguez and her daughter found and photographed the men, telling them they were trespassing according to the court records. As the men attempted to flee, one allegedly pushed the daughter, causing the 5 months pregnant woman to fall over, according to police reports. Rodriguez sped after the man as they boated across Pillsbury Sound to St. John, where employees of the boat rental company refused her request to identify the customers. While filling out a police report, she received a call from her daughter. Maintenance workers had detained one of the alleged, what is going on this island, had detained one of the alleged intruders, tying his hands and mouth with duct tape. So officers arrived to find Owen shirtless, restrained with duct tape, and Paul J. Arnold III, boyfriend of the pregnant woman, acting so aggressively that officers had to warn him to calm down. So at some point, this matter may be back in court very, very soon. But I have decided, and this is just my opinion, I'm not commenting on her guilt or otherwise, but I think Anne is a bit of an agent of chaos. And as I said earlier, Epstein loves that. And she worked for him for a very long time. And I think one of the reasons for her loyalty is Epstein offered more than $50,000 to fund her two teens' tuition at the North Broward Prep School in 2015. These are in the DOJ files. I've also found things like she called an employee, a fellow employee, Danny, evil, as I've said before. There's debate there whether Epstein likes to be called boss man or otherwise. Epstein said boss man is fine, but I think he got caught complaining about Anne to another employee who then leaked straight to her. She said she calls him boss man. It's just a term of endearment. Now, also in the files, there are exchanges between Rodriguez and Epstein about travel arrangements for her and her daughters. Now, also, Jeffrey looked after her when one of her relatives died, that's Anne, and she had to fly back for the funeral in Missouri. I think that's all it. So let me know if you want more on Anne. I'm a little bit obsessed. I just get so much satisfaction in reporting on these people that helped Epstein do what he did, allegedly. So thanks so much for listening. This is just an emergency episode for you to find out about Anne Rodriguez. In my opinion, she was Epstein's agent of chaos. Have a great day. Thanks. Bye.